this computer.
Okay. Hey, so yeah, most of y'all don't know Pat, who is my nephew.
Most of y'all don't know Pat,
but he has a very interesting story to share in a minute.
Has a very interesting story
Let me see.
to share
I'm trying to see. Let me see. 5:57.
Try to see.
I'll get Reverend Wilson. I know Reverend Wilson was watching the football game.
Get Reverend Wilson. I know Reverend Wilson was watching the football game.
Let me call. Hey, Red. You ready to patch in?
Hey, Red.
Okay, cool.
You ready to patch in? Okay, cool.
That's Reverend Wilson. Is that Thel?
That's Reverend Wilson. Is that Thel?
Who that?
Who that?
Who is that?
Who is that?
Oh, that's Kareem.
What's up, Rod?
What up, man?
Oh, that's Kareem. What's up, Rod?
Hey.
What up, man?
What up? You see Mackie, did he?
Hey, Mackie.
Mackie is a minister now, a reverend. Call him Reverend Mackie.
Mackie is a minister now, a reverend. Call him Reverend Mackie.
And Kevin, there's Sensei Kevin.
And Kevin, there's Sensei Kevin.
Hey, Kevin. Can you hear me, Kevin? We can't hear you. Say something, Kevin.
We can't hear
You're on
you.
mute.
Kevin, you got to unmute your phone.
There you go.
Okay, did that work?
Yep.
That
You hear
worked.
me?
That worked.
Yep.
Hey, Kevin,
Yes, sir.
don't tell Bernie how much food I ate Thursday night in Florence,
Yeah, buddy.
in Florence, South Carolina, at Victor's. What is that? Victor's
Yes, sir.
Cafe.
Yes, Victor's. Yeah, Victor's
Man,
restaurant.
oh man.
Yeah.
Nice little throwdown.
Nice little throwdown.
So let's see. So that's Mackie. There's Judy, and we don't have Phil. Let's see. So there's Komet. Hey, Beaver, what happened with Bowe?
He's still trying to get on.
Okay. Okay. So soon as Rev come on.
There he is.
Where Rev?
He's there. Next to Kareem. Oh, well, on my screen.
Okay, let me see. So this thing says show thumbnail video. What does it say here? Okay, let's see. It's got a text that might be Bowe. No, that's Lex. Yeah. That's Alexis.
Oh, hey, Cora.
Oh, Cora made it in. That's cool. What up, Cora? Okay, let me see. Let me see. Hey, Rev, are you there?
Hey, Komet.
Hi,
Hey, Kelly.
Where's Swanee?
No,
Why
I
am not
can't hear
seeing-
anybody.
Why am I not seeing everybody?
Hey, Kelly.
Hi. Let's see sound.
Swanee.
Okay.
Kelly.
Where's Swanee? Right here. I don't see.
Okay, we can't
Oh, I
find
gotta
you.
go click.
Hey,
There. Oh, there's Swanee. Cora's iPhone. I'll turn my video on in a second, but it's midnight here, so I'm not really presenting.
Hey, Swanee.
I do.
Hey, was that Lex?
That's me, but I don't have my video on yet because it's midnight. I have to kind of wake up a minute.
That Robert Wilson?
No, that's Kevin.
Yeah.
Wait, Rev, I can't see Rev. That's
Yeah,
Kevin right there.
I can't see.
Hey.
He looks like she's been living in a time warp. He looks the same age.
You know what I'm saying? That's right, 30 years.
No.
30 years.
The lighting's good.
Y'all know black don't crack.
Y'all know black don't crack.
Okay. Now I can see everybody. There's Jeffro. Yep. Jeffro, what up, Jeffro? So let me ask. I see Cora's iPhone. Cora, are you there? Okay, so it tells me that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we got a crowd. We're still trying to get both, but let's do this. This was very organic.
Yes, I'm here,
Who is that?
Cora.
Oh, hey, Cora.
But you got to get control of this situation. It's a little disorganized, Bob.
Hey, okay, I'm about to remove you already. You come in talking trash. I said, this is very organic. It's not structured. It's not formal. And frankly, I thought, that's the way to roll. It's folks that, we're all a part of an extraordinarily special experience and a journey and night. This is obviously the 30th anniversary of Bowe winning the heavyweight championship of the world. And so I want to do, although it's not structured, I want to do a couple of things. And that is, first of all, I want to acknowledge the parts of our family that we've lost, starting with Ms. Bowe. We lost Ms. Bowe. We lost my mom. We lost Judy's mom. We lost Bernie's mom and Bernard's wife. Judy. We lost Papa Smurf, Eddie Futch, who I say unabashedly, the greatest trainer in the history of boxing. We lost Hedge. We lost Dr. McKnight. We lost Wilbert, Edward. Bowe used to call him Mr. ED. We lost Shirley. We lost Dick Gregory. So just so you know, we got Mackie over here and Reverend Wilson here. So Reverend Wilson, Mackie, and Dick Gregory had everything to do, a major part of Bowe being how he was the night he fought for the title. We lost Gerard, Shake and Bake, and we lost Milt Schwatsky. So what I would like to do is to call upon Reverend Wilson, who led us in prayer before Bowe went out and took care of business on November the 13th. Reverend Wilson did an incredible prayer. And I want to see if Rev would bless us with a prayer now for those we've lost and for tonight's reunion.
Well, Rock, that was one of those kairotic points in history where the Creator moves in his own way. So in no fashion can I duplicate that prayer, but I will try my best to now offer a word of prayer if we can all focus as we call on the Creator to bless us in this most momentous occasion. Eternal God, our Creator, the sustainer of all life. We come to you first with thanksgiving. We thank you for those ancestors whose names have been called, who have entered the realm of the ancestors. We pray now, even as we convene, that their spirits might be called upon to be with us and assist us. We thank you, God, for the many labors and efforts of ever so many, some who are not even on this call, perhaps, but all who played a significant role in making this 30th year anniversary happen 30 years ago this week today. God, we thank you. We ask now you bless us as we share together. Might it be a spirit, a contagion that grips all of us, that inspires us and moves us to for even greater things, even as we reminisce and remember and commemorate the greatness of that night, that we also be inspired to move on to greater things in every aspect and every endeavor of our lives. It's the prayer we pray. Amen.
Amen. Fantastic, Rev. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I think the man of the hour, is that Bowe? Who is that? It says Maggie phone 11. That's not Bowe. That's not Bowe.
It's me trying to connect Bowe in.
Julius.
Wait a minute.
You trying to connect boys?
But who is hey, that is, I see Bo's photo. I say, Bo, is that you? Can you hear us, Bo?
I see Bo's photo. I said, Bo, is that you? Can you hear us, Bo?
Oh, we got the echo back.
No, that's Julius.
Oh, that's Julius.
That's true.
That's
Wow.
Julius. Hey, Julius, what's up? What's up? What's up? Okay.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
So
Okay.
Rev, that's Jeff. That's Jeff Rowe. Rev gave us.
having a hard time hearing y'all.
What you say? What'd you say, Bo? Let's see. Okay, so some kind of way Bo, I think, is connected. Julius could fake us all out because he damn sure looked just like Bo.
Sure enough, too.
Say that again.
He does.
Okay, so well, first of all, man, thank everybody for joining. You know, I think for all of us, this is a special occasion and a special night, celebrating that joy 30 years ago. I had a conversation in trying to help put this together with Kelly. And I told Kelly, I said, you know, one of the things I want to try to capture as we do this is the screams that she had that night.
I'm hanging up. I'm hanging up.
That's Swanee.
If you play that, I'm hanging up.
No, actually I don't have it. Actually, I don't have it.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Everybody
I remember.
Actually, I don't have it. But does everybody remember?
I remember.
They could hear Kelly in LA. Yeah. And look, I want to continue to be an accountable person and hold everybody accountable. And Bernie and Kareem, I think, could firsthand know that Mackie still never ate that full banana split that he was supposed to eat. That. Mackie, welcome to the reunion, Mackie.
What happened to Bernie?
Okay, let's see. I gotta ask to unmute. Can anybody hear Mackie? I can't hear Mackie.
Oh, he's muted. He's muted. He's got to unmute him.
Unmute your phone, Mackie.
All us tech savvy people.
How about now?
Unmute your phone, Judy.
That's good.
I don't know, but Jeff Fried seems to be the most technical. He's using the Apple Pencil.
Jeff Fried seems to be the most technical. He's using the Apple Pencil.
Hey,
Okay. Hey, Mackie.
Compared to rock, yes.
Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you now, Matt.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I just accused you of never eating that banana split you were supposed to eat after that picture.
Wait, Rock, everybody go back on mute. It's echoing. Everybody go back on mute except Mackie.
hey, can you all hear Bo now?
Say something, Bo.
Hey, rock and roll, what's going on, partner?
There you go. Hey, everybody say hello to Bo.
Hello, Bo.
Bo?
Hey, Bo.
He really
Let's go, Bo. Let's go, Bo.
Hey, Bo.
I think the phrase would be, let's get ready to rumble. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Alexis is in Paris, so I guess she gets the award for being the longest distance. What's up, Lex?
Hey, Rocket. Hey, everybody. Hey, Bo. Judy.
How you doing?
All right. Can't believe it's been 30 years.
Oh, God.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
30. So, you know, one of the things that I wanted to do, Jeff Rowe. Hey, man. One of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to go around the table. We thought we better stay in a safe zone and not play other people's music. Of course, I wanted to play Phil Collins "In the Air at Night." I've been waiting for this moment all my life, but that was best we didn't do. So, you know, I'd like to, I think, start with the oldest first and ask, what was your most special memory of the night of the week or of the entire journey. And I'm gonna think Reverend Wilson goes first.
Okay, Rock, I would think when you called me and said that Bowe was not as motivated as he might or needed to be, and would I come out and share with him and speak with him? And of course, we arranged and I flew in, and I'll never forget, Dick Gregory was in the room. And I used a combination of my teachings from one of my great mentors, Dr. Howard Thurman, who was also the mentor to Martin Luther King Jr., and also Dr. Bernard Haldane, who introduced a process called Systems and Motivated Skills. And I took some videos of Muhammad Ali's pre-fight hype, not the fights, but the pre-fight hype. And after I played them, where he talked about how I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, so on and so forth. And I asked Bowe, what is he saying? And Bowe simply repeated what he said. I said, no, what is he saying? And we went over that for a few moments, and Dick interceded and said, you better listen to him. He know what he's talking about. And so then I said, what he's doing is affirming who he is and his power and what he can do. And of course, the next day, Mackie came in with his stopwatch and stopped it and said Bowe had run the strongest, 5 or 6 miles, however long it was that he had run in camp. And that day, went in the ring and annihilated every opponent that he faced. And the rest of it is just, that was the most important and significant experience for me. Although just being there that night was great and exciting, and I cannot express the joy and exhilaration that we all felt. But in that room that evening, when he grasped what I was saying, I think it had an influence on him, and in terms of what he went in that ring and did following that.
My Lord. Mackie.
Well, Rock, Bernie, Kareem, and I were like 3 peas in a pod. So my story is one of Bowe was going to do a exhibition and it was in Bend, Oregon, in the training camp. And they had this big kid that was coming in, the hometown champion. The hometown kid was going to go a couple of sparring rounds with Bowe. Well, before it all started, you had given me a signed release. and you said, before we start anything, you want to go over that corner and see the kid to sign this release. Yeah. And so, I'm thinking, okay, sure. I go over there and I talked to the young man's manager, and the people were lining up, and where it was in this pavilion in the back, and the chairs are everywhere. And the kid, Bowe, starts in on his sparring, and then I think fellow Mr. Fletch calls in this young man. Now, he's the hometown champion, and he plays the part. I mean, he goes in there and puts his hands up, and he goes in and he starts in the spar, and he starts hitting Bowe on the ears. And, smacking the ears. And this goes on for the whole round. During the 1 minute break, you lean over to me and you say, did you get that release done? And I said, well, yeah, I got it right here. He says, good, we'll need it. And then Bowe comes out the next time, and that kid throws on that right ear. And next time he does it, Bowe hits him 2 times and he goes down. And that was the end of his sparring career there.
He never came back.
He never came back, and I'm thinking, well, guess what? We're sitting in his hometown, and Bowe just knocked out the hometown champion. Are we going to get out of this alive,
Yes,
so,
indeed.
I remember that as a defining moment in training camp.
Yeah. Hey, Cora, we can't see you. Are you there where we can hear you?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so Cora, what the question was the reflection that night or anywhere through the journey? What comes to mind as your first one?
Well, a lot of different things. As you all know, at that time, I was pimping my daughter, Tamara, who was singing at all those fights. So I think a lot about how she would sing the national anthem when we did it in Atlantic City. I had to sit there all night with me and her and Joe and practice her, and how she did it in Atlanta. So, we always talk about how that impacted her. But I have a lot of memories of being in camp. I was a commissioner, so I could only do so much. But every once in a while, I would show up in an unofficial role.
Mhm.
And I remember when I left the commission, Bernie talks about this. We were down to, where's that, Bernie? Fayetteville?
Fayetteville.
That's
At Razor Ruddick's fight.
Yeah, right. I wasn't Bone Crusher.
No, I think it was Razor Ruddick. He might have been.
You know what, baby? I think it was Bone Crusher. I think it was Bone Crusher.
Razor Ruddick might have been fighting Bone Crusher.
I don't remember. I don't remember who the main eventer was.
It was Bone Crusher, Razor Ruddick.
Yeah, because I know that Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali were there for that fight.
Okay.
But that's a lot of memories. But I just always, Bernie, this is not something that comes up once every 10 years. Every week of my life, Bernie brings up me being down there. That whole 2 weeks, we couldn't find a decent meal in the whole city. And I was just tired of that, because the least we could do is eat some good food. And on the day of the fight, we was at the hotel and I saw this big family reunion. And they had all kind of food in there. And I went in there and I was fixing my plate. And Bernie was like, what are you doing? I said,
like she was part of the family reunion.
Bernie.
She invited everybody in. Oh, me and Kareem, come on in, get some food.
But you know what, though? You know what, to Cora's credit, I know she was focused on that food, but she had the presence of mind. The guy that we had as the opponent, that was the one I think that weighed about 150 pounds. We had to put some bricks in his shoes or shirt or something to give him some extra weight. It looked like he was leaving out of the hotel. And Cora left the table and went down and blocked his entrance. Like, where you going? Wait till I had a chance to get down there. And then she went right back to the table and resumed eating.
I think we put ankle weights on.
Yeah, but man, yeah, that's right. Ankle weights, ankle weights. Yeah. Hey, Ron, you old. What is your top memory that night or through the whole journey?
Well, I go with that night. Dell will remember this. In that 10th round, which I think was round of the year, when Bowe hit him with that uppercut, and I think Holyfield stumbled probably 6 steps going toward the ring, and Cortez should have called that a knockdown, because the only way Holyfield stood up was because the ring held him up.
Yeah.
And then he got his composure, and then he finished out the round. But that should have been a knockdown, 10-8.
Hey, Bowe, can you hear us, Bowe?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, so Ron said when you hit Holyfield with that uppercut, the way he stumbled all over the place, the only thing that saved him from going down was the ropes. Was that your sense in the heat of action, or you just was looking to get your next shot in?
Well, I think I never thought about it in that aspect, but I thought that he was in trouble and he just was trying to survive. So I really didn't pay no attention. I thought he wanted me to exhaust myself, so I had to be careful and put my shots.
Well, I'm going to say, to your willingness to commit to be your best in that training camp, to all the help that was given, with Mackey's incredible skills, Phil's teaching, Eddie's coaching and training, Bernie and Kareem. I got a photo. Let me see. I had a photo. I put it on Facebook today of you guys running up in Bend, Oregon. That was the most amazing thing to me that happened in sports in 1992. They had a game plan. Holyfield, the Duvas, they all had a game plan. Their game plan was to box you and to get you into deep water, get you drunk, and then drown you. But what they found out that you was drinking fake liquor because you got stronger and stronger and dominated the 11th and 12th round. Yeah. And when I talk about how special this night is, there's so many lessons to learn from it that, you know, when someone commits themselves to being at their best, they get the kind of success and glory that you did, man. And you know, no matter what happens in life, no one can ever take that away from you, man. And so I couldn't be happier that, you know, you're here to help, you know, celebrate it. Mac, did you want to say something?
Yes, I'd like to, maybe people don't know this. You might remember it. I know Thel would remember it. Of course, Bowe remembers it. But Bowe might remember the fact that I used to tell him different fables, stories. And I told him the way this fight would go down, Holyfield will assume that we are much bigger and that he will get us at round 8 when we will tire. And so I was able to convince Mr. Fudge to do 8 rounds of sparring and then let me come in with those cords. Remember in the ring?
Oh, yeah.
I said, we're going to get in. And Holyfield was using cords, but he attached it to his weight, to his body. And I knew that was a mistake. We attached it, the long cords, the yellow cords, back to the posts. And we put Thel out in front, and we made both go in and out. It's called accommodating resistance. And if you remember, and after that, for 4 rounds, instead of going for 3 minutes, we did it for a minute 30 with 30 seconds rest, and he had to throw 175 punches per minute 30. Yeah. And I told Bowe, that's your coming out party from the Trojan horse.
Yeah. Yeah. Bernie, Kareem, y'all remember that, man?
Well, not only do I remember it,
but
Maggie,
I want to tell you something.
Widen that window of recovery.
Hey, Rock, what do you remember the scores of the fight? What the judges scored?
I don't remember.
I don't either.
Yeah. Hey, so why don't we do this? Why don't we go to Swanee? Because Swanee was very instrumental, actually, in Bowe and I coming together. Way back when. I think she, to her credit, you know, thought that we could be a good team together. And Swanee, so, you know, the floor is yours in terms of the journey, what you remember from the journey most, and that night. Swanee.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Newman. Hi, everybody. It's nice to see everyone.
Hey.
I was thinking, since you said, I mean, so many memories. It's hard to go over all of them. I was thinking, like, between all the antics and all the names, the ring names that Bowe got to have before he got to Big Daddy, you know, doing press releases, all of a sudden it went from Batman Riddick Bowe to Buffalo Bill Riddick Bowe. Like, I couldn't keep up with Rock.
Iceman when he was in Missouri when it was cold. Jeffro knows about that.
Batman was the best. They got pulled over on the highway, and they had to pull out the Batman outfit. Remember, you guys got caught for speeding on the way home? And you had to tell the cop that it was Riddick Bowe, and you had to pull out the Batman outfit. I mean,
that's right.
Yeah. So all those various stories that we lived through all together, and that does include the ring antics. Thank you very much. Including getting spit on by Elijah Tillery at the Convention Center. Thank God he hit my shoulder and not my face. Thank you, Riddick. That was all because both of you were at Colony South, and I stayed there too because I was living in New York still. And Elijah every day would say, "Oh, after Saturday night, you're gonna be working for me. You're gonna be working for me." I said, "No, I won't be, Elijah." And then you beat him, and then I was like, "See, Elijah, see, you're nobody." And he's like, "Big honker right on my shoulder. Thank you very much." But I guess the whole thing throughout all those fights and antics, that like you guys made it.
Oh, you crying, Swanee? Oh, we love you, girl. We love you, girl.
But it was like all the hard work and all the dedication, and Rock like spent every penny he had to get rid of where he got to, and then that was the night. And I remember the night of the fight, like there was no seats in the house. The place was sold out, and it was at Thomas Mack, and I had a credential, but I didn't even have a seat. I don't know how that happened. I didn't even have a seat. I remember there was one seat by the ring, and I said, oh shoot, I'm just gonna sit in the seat and hopefully nobody comes, and nobody ever came.
Wow.
And throughout the fight, I could pound on the ring mat, like I was right there pounding the whole time. And then, of course, Riddick pulled it off, and he won such a brilliant fight. And Eddie Futch always said that Riddick Bowe was the best heavyweight champ he ever worked with, and thanks to Thel too. Inside, outside, you name it, Riddick could do it. So we all believed in him from the beginning, and he made it happen. And congratulations to him. And Rock's, you were a perfect match.
Hey,
Riddick was what Riddick needed, some one-on-one attention.
Hey, bro. Got Rock on here, man. Doing a Zoom call, yeah.
Hey,
okay.
On mute.
Rock,
and then when it was over, Swanee, you went quietly away.
And then
no, she didn't go quietly. After it was over, she was screaming.
I had learned.
Every time you watch the fight, people say, "Who is that lady screaming in the background?"
I was accused of being like mauled in the ring, but I had no idea about microphones back then or anything. It was all natural because now I know where the mics are. And just one other thing, I'm still in boxing and work on all the big fights, and all the fighters always come up to me and say, oh, you're never going to work with a fighter like me again, or oh, they got a knucklehead brother, or they got somebody in the camp going crazy. And I'm like, gosh, I've been there, done that 30 years later. So boxing still.
Hey, somebody, if you got somebody talking in the background, mute your phone, please. If someone is making noise in the background. Hey, Swanee, you brought up a training camp with Elijah Tillery in the Colony South. In that training camp was a sparring partner called Hollywood.
Wait, Rock, 1 second. Rock, 1 sec. You can mute the person. Go to the participant list and look at mute. You can mute the person. I think it's Ron's phone.
I think it is.
It's off now. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, Hollywood was in that training camp, and I got a frantic call from the front desk, and they said, hey, one of your boxes, I was like, he ain't my boxer, but one of your boxes is down at the front desk. And he's down here. And so Hollywood was about 6'3", 6'4", and 265, 70 pounds. He had a pretty good gut on him. Hollywood was down at the front desk in the lobby in a thong.
Oh my God.
That's part of what I remember about that training camp. So
I want to say one other thing about Judy, because I see Judy in my corner over here now. Quiet Judy, as always.
I was just getting ready to call her.
I just like remember Judy always like being there with the kids, always dressing the kids up in the cutest outfits, being patient, never really talking too much, but observing a lot. And, you were just a rock star, Judy. I've met, again, a lot of fighters' wives and friends, and there are a lot of troublemakers out there. Your love and support was always. There are a lot of troublemakers out there. Your love and support was always.
Thank you.
So Judy, you got the floor. Your memory of the journey, your memory of that night.
Memory of that night.
I'd just like to say hello to everyone. Nice seeing everyone again. I was very young and really didn't know what I was really into at the time. But I guess my fondest memory was the night he did win the fight and just getting in the ring and just being in awe, like what is really going on, But, later I I guess I see the big magnitude of what we was really into, and just a great experience. The highs and the lows. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
And like Kelly said, Rocky and Bowe, they was just a good team together. They was really a good team together. And I just love you guys. I'm really a little emotional. But it was a great experience. It's a great experience. It's something that I try to tell the children, but I don't know. I could get some of it out, but I guess you just had to be there.
Yeah. Something you had to live.
And I miss all the ones that are no longer here with us.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I went through the list, Judy. I went through the list. Miss Bowe, your mom, my mom, June, Eddie, Hedge, McKnight, Wilbert, Edward, Shirley, Dick Gregory, Gerard, Milt Swansky, man. We lost some special folks. And going back to that night about, being emotional.
I never really
being emotional.
Yeah, I never really, sat down and thought about how many we did, lose until you was saying their names. So
yeah,
it's a lot.
Kevin reminded me on Thursday night about something that he witnessed with me. And it was in the dressing room after the fight. And man, I'll probably get emotional, but it was such an incredibly journey. It was a hard journey because we wouldn't play ball with the crooks and criminals and thugs and that was in the world of boxing. We wouldn't do things their way. And so every obstacle that they could put before us, they in fact did. And they tried to keep us from that. They tried to keep us from that moment. And when he said, and the new heavyweight champion, I tried to keep my composure, but when I got in the dressing room, fortunately, Dee Dee was by my side. And Dee Dee came to the fight in spite of the fact that she had recently had brain surgery. And man, I found her and I buried my head in her shoulder, and I cried what was almost 4 years worth of tears for that journey, one. And then two, remembering how much of a boxing fan my dad was. He introduced me to boxing. We used to argue all the time about, he thought Joe Louis was the greatest fighter that ever walked, and I said Muhammad Ali was. He was old school and I was new school. To think that the company named after him, Spencer Promotions, could be a part of something like this, and his son, that I could be a part of something like this, it made me feel as if unquestionably I had done something that would make him extraordinarily proud. And so, I held on to Dee Dee, man. It seemed like forever. Kevin reminded me the other night, man. And Kev, thanks for that memory. I don't even know if I'd have brought that up now, but that's where it was. Hey, I see Hoss back there when we speak of age. So, Mr. Brooks, Hoss, Sexy Chocolate. Y'all know Little Richard gave Bernard the name Sexy Chocolate. But Sexy Chocolate, what's your memory of the journey, your favorite memory of the journey or favorite memory that night? The floor is yours. Can't hear you. Hold on. That's the unmute. There's the unmute.
How's that?
Okay, can hear you now.
All right. First, I'd like to say hi to everybody.
Mr. B.
Good evening.
And that night, what sticks out of my mind is the fight after the fight when the guy pushed Dee Dee. You don't remember that?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
And if you want me to give a blow
we had a
blow,
good fight the whole night. It was great. Bowe was punishing him. And then when the guy pushed Dee Dee, Bernie punished him.
And the thing of it is, I tried to and missed him. My little short arms missed him. Bernie came over top of me and laid dude out. Not necessarily something I think we're necessarily proud about, but
Yeah.
I think it was an example that we fight for our women.
That's right.
You know, I also think that, my opinion, Bowe's best fight I thought was Jorge, the guy, the big Cuban guy.
Oh yeah.
When Thel trained him, I think, for that.
Yes, yes.
And Bowe says, Thel got me in shape. I'm tuned up.
Yeah.
He got Jorge beat, got Frenfrock fired. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, every fight there was something.
Absolutely. Frenfrock did get fired because he just knew Jorge Gonzalez was going to beat Bowe, and we had quite a different thought about that. You know, if we're going in the age category, hold on a second. Let me say one thing. Is Pat on the phone? Pat, are you on the phone? Pat's not on the phone. I want to tell you about something.
Yeah, Rock, I'm right here.
Okay, so
right
Pat, here's what I want to do before I continue in this age thing, because I know you weren't able to stay that long. So what I asked Pat, and who's my nephew, and Monty, who's my nephew, for both of them to come on, we all were right there. They were at wherever they were, nervously watching the fight. And so if I can go to you first, Pat, if you can share your night of watching that fight.
Man, it was like it was last night, Rock. First of all, God bless everyone that's on here. The journey was probably as big as that night. Me telling my friends, trying to convince my friends that Riddick was going to win the fight. They all laughed. They talk trash. Oh, Evander got this. Well, November the 13th, 1992, at the Thomas Mack Center, Riddick performed. After it was announced that Riddick had won the fight, I was in Chicago. Once the fight was over, I'm outside in the mean streets of Chicago saying, "And new heavyweight champion of the world." Look, as I'm walking down the street, I'm out of control. Lights are coming on porches. Look, it was a guy, a friend of mine, 5 blocks away.
What address?
What was the address?
What was the address, Pat?
8948 South Normal. Yes, sir. 8948 South Normal. Never forget it, man. A buddy of mine on 87th and Parnell told me, "Yeah, fool, I heard you about 2 o'clock this morning talk about and new heavyweight champion of the world." And I mean, man, that right there, I would never, ever forget that. Taking it to my grave, man.
Man, oh man, I swear I wanted you to share that. And Monty's on. Bowe, do you remember Monty? Monty's Ralph's son. You know, they had the cement trucks.
It's been a while, so
yeah,
man, but it's been a while.
All right, Monty, what was your what were your thoughts, Monty?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. First of all, the journey, I think, has to start with Brandywine. All you guys, especially the Brookses, 2 Brookses from down around Brandywine. Going from that little small town to the heavyweight championship of the world was a outstanding accomplishment. Your 3 brothers, Rock, your 3 brothers, Shirley, Gilbert, and Dad, Ralph, we all worked together. And every day, while you were on that journey with Bowe, they would come around and talk about what they've been doing. We had 75 employees. All our employees were Bowe fans. The night of the fight, we're sitting up in the stands. For the most part, we had to watch it on the big screen because the the ring itself was too small for us to see what was happening blow by blow. But up in those stands, watching the screen, we saw the most fantastic heavyweight fight I think that was ever on display. Mr. Bowe, you did a fabulous job. I think I could watch that fight over and over and over again. Two warriors, small warrior and a big warrior, blow by blow.
That's my favorite.
The atmosphere up in the stands early on, it was probably more people rooting for Holyfield than there were Bowe. But as the rounds went on, it started to change.
Yeah.
And people they were just happy to see such a great fight. And at the end, the new heavyweight champion. Everybody was applauding.
You know, talking about something to learn and what Bowe went out and proved, they kept giving him the label of not having a heart, not having enough heart, not having enough courage. Man, if that professional display of heart, courage, skill, stamina, intelligence, the way that Eddie and Phil had prepared Bowe, and he grasped it all. He focused and grasped it all and put it all on display that night. It absolutely dispelled any kind of rumors about whether he had heart. And I'll tell you something. I also had great respect for Evander Holyfield to be able to hang in there with, Bowe, who was the big Great Dane, and somebody described it as Bowe being like a big Great Dane. And he was fighting a smaller pit bull. The Great Dane won that night. And, we're here because he won that night. And so the credit really keeps going back very much.
Hey, Rock, I also want to say, while you were on this journey, I'd go down to Grandma's house and sit down and talk to her for a while. And I'd ask her, did you hear from Rock today? Yeah. I said, where was Rock at? Well, she'd tell me where you were and everything. What was he up to? And she'd roll her eyes, look out the window. Grandma or something. She loved the fact that you were on that wonderful journey.
So look, we all love our moms, no question about it. But if we tell some true stories, Fanny told me one night when Bowe was fighting somebody. Well, first of all, I got to give a quick backstory. My mother hated boxing and hated wrestling. My father would be there and she would just be harassing him. How can you sit there and watch this stuff and them men hit each other? And that ain't even right and all that kind of stuff. But when her son was representing Riddick Bowe, Bowe was fighting somebody one night. And Fanny said, when Bowe knocked the guy down, she said, Grandma said, now kick him. Go on and kick him. So that love kind of was over. Hey, Lex, are you still there? You there, Lex? I see your name, but I don't see Lex.
I'm here. I had to do something with the dog, so I turned off the video.
All right, Lex.
But I know that you don't mind that. Come here and say hi to Rock, Hugo.
The journey, and the night of, whatever you want to focus on. Hey, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, how cute. Okay.
Okay. So, I just have all these little snippets that maybe mostly overseas. It's no accident. But just all these things are flooding back to me, like Judy eating fried shrimp in every country in the world.
No question about it.
Oh yeah.
No, Judy.
Judy, it didn't matter if it was Kenya or Spain or South Africa. It was like, is there fried shrimp? I'm gonna have fried shrimp, right, Judy? And I remember one of the things that was so great for me about working with
fried shrimp in Italy.
Around the Pope, right?
Right.
The Pope.
Yeah.
And one of the things I felt like, Rock always, I was up against some really corrupt people in the international side. He always made me feel like I could somehow handle him. But Bowe always stepped up his game to kind of clinch a deal. We were in London at the BBC Sportsman of the Year Award dinner, and they had a kind of pompous host named Des Lynam. And Rock and I had said to him, BBC hadn't bought a fight in years, and we were trying to get competition to Sky. And Rock and I said to Bowe, you really got to work on this guy, Des. If we get him to like you and be into your fight, maybe the BBC will make an offer. And so they have the thing. I don't know if you remember this, Bowe. They call you up to give you the award as Sportsman of the Year. They play a clip from the fight and everything. And Des Lynam says, so, heavyweight champion, tell me what's been the greatest thing to happen to you since winning the title. And Bowe kind of goes real deadpan and looks at him, and then he smiles. He goes, meeting you, Des. And what do you know? The BBC offered on the next fight.
That's right. That's right. Go diddly.
I had that kind of, I remember Bernie and Kareem watching all sorts of pay-per-view movies in the hotel in Frankfurt that showed up on my bill, and they claimed they were watching Doc Hollywood, but I never had proof of that. They can never tell me the plot. But I also just one other little sort of break the corruption story, if I can speak ill of the departed Cedric Kushner. Do you remember, Rock, when Cedric tried to shake us down right after Bowe won?
Yep.
And Cedric calls and starts telling Rock that he really can't sell a fight in South Africa without Cedric.
Yeah, right.
And then and I say, I don't know, I don't know anything about it. I just a girl and everything, but it just seems like you're telling me that we can get 150,000 if we hire you to help us, but he's not worth anything without that. And he's like, well, I'm not. I said, so why don't we just give it away? And I think Cedric almost had a coronary. I said, give it away. And then Rock was already on the other phone trying to call the ANC and do stuff, Mandela, and somehow spin that. But I think one of the things I got to see up close that I appreciated just so much about the journey from my side was just turning everything upside down when it made sense. Like never doing what had always been done before. And I think it was almost like whenever someone came up and said, well, it's always done like this, that was almost a reason to just do something else.
Yeah.
I feel like there was so much of that for personal empowerment for all of us on the team to just kind of do what our instincts told us to do and not be locked into the sort of the financial model of protecting from promoters to just, I felt like there was always some barrier being broken somewhere, some convention that wasn't followed. So I just found it very,
so look,
just inspirational on that level.
Thanks, Lex. And talking about South Africa, Dee Dee has a photo here that she looked at, and she looked at that damn Bernie driving me crazy. And he and Kareem were out on a ledge
I don't know if you guys can see it.
30th story on a hotel in South Africa.
He's on the ledge.
Yeah.
Bernie, I'm still mad at you.
He's standing out there on the ledge. Hey, look, man, let me go to Jeffro. Jeffro Pugh. Jeff's in the house.
Wow. Hey, thank you. So, you know what? I'm listening, and then I started to write notes, which I'm not going to really go through. But the top thing as I look back is how appreciative I am of the 30 years and before, what led to November 13, 1992 as well. And I really am appreciative. It shaped me in many ways and others, and each of you have had an impact, on me. And I'll get to the last thing last, but Alexa said snippets. So there's a few snippets that stand out. And this is by no means comprehensive, but I remember June and Pat Freed taking the undercard fighters to the fight early. And oh my God, those fighters, if they were a little late, if they were not getting going, the two of them like threatening the fighters, like, you know, physically, emotionally, in every which way. But those two were a team. And I also want to go back to, you know, Miss June, because as you remember in Brandywine, taking care of the kids, and my son Ben was one of them. And Ben, who has autism and so on. I'll never forget this as long as I live. You need to get your little white ass back into that house, Ben, before, and I'll never forget that. Rock, when early on, when you shared that you had to sell your car to help fund, you know, what we were doing, and the belief that everyone had in you and Bowe, that really was what it was. Like, things were not very traditional. A couple of other quick examples or snippets, as Alexa says. I'll never forget, this was Ron, Kelly, and me, and it was at a high school in Washington, D.C. And I forget the high school, but we fought at some high school. Do you remember, Rock, the name of the high school? It was obviously early on. And the three of us could not have been any more nervous. Talk about like not knowing what we were doing. Not UDC, this was a high school, a bona fide high school.
What high school?
I think we had to fight at Coolidge.
That sounds right to me.
Coolidge,
that sounds exactly right.
Yeah, we fought that guy that Bowe knocked out, and then he went to dinner with us at Shirley and Shirley's house afterwards.
Yeah, I could see that, but I just remember Ron, who, hey, Rock, if anyone cracked this up more than Ron, I don't know who, all those years. Another thing, and no disrespect to anyone else, but to this day, I share that I think the nicest individual and human being I've met in my life is Bernard Brooks, Sr. No disrespect to Junior. Just as the nicest individual. A couple of other quick things. When we were in Kansas City, we all went to Farhad Azima's house. This guy, you know, he's dealing with grabbing airplanes and doing stuff, and we're all at his house just fitting in. And then two last things, and I just want to share what's most important. One is the fan man. So here's where I'm seated. I'm seated. To my left is Reverend Farrakhan. To my right is Jesse Jackson. That's where I'm seated. And Rock, to your credit, like, I got to know Reverend Farrakhan quite well. Remember, we were on a boat with a birthday. We spent a lot of time together. And he was a gentleman. And I'll never forget when that thing came down and it was motorized.
Right.
My first thought was it was going to be an assassination attempt on one of those two lives. For whatever reason, good, bad, or whatever, that was my thought. And Reverend Farrakhan could not have been like, is everyone okay? Like, he did not move.
Right.
He wanted to make sure everyone was safe. He was such a gentleman.
He was cool, calm, and collected.
But Jesse was running.
No, let me,
Let
Jeff tell it. Let Jeff tell the story.
Jesse was running. Jesse ran.
Let Jeff tell the story.
No, well, he was gone. He was gone, but that's not really the whole thing. So Reverend Farrakhan, like, you know, remember, we're sitting at ringside, the chairs were portable. So, you know, they were all scattered and stuff like that. And I know Judy was, I believe, pregnant at the time, I believe. Yes. And there was so much care for her that she was okay, Reverend Farrakhan and others. And then everything calmed down. You know, that guy was beat, you know, with the walkie-talkies and everything. So I don't want to have, I think there's an echo. I don't know if that's me. But as long as you hear me. So everything quiets. And who returns but Jesse Jackson? And as I'm leaving Sunday at the airport, you get, you know, we used to get the Las Vegas Review Journal. That was sort of our little routine. And who's on the front page, or one of the front pages, was Jesse Jackson heroically escorting Judy Bowe away from the melee. That is what I remember about that. And so one last memory, and then I want to share what's most important. Someone sent this to me about a year ago, and I had not seen this before. I'm going to show it to you in a second.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And you tell me if you see it, if I'm putting it in the right place. Wait. Oh, no, that's the wrong picture. That's a bank. Hold on one second.
That was that
this
porno.
Is really something. Yeah, that's the point.
Watch yourself now, Jeff.
Up with, you know what? That's the problem. That is, so let me just see if this works.
Oh, boy.
Do you see that? Is there
Oh,
a
yeah,
glare?
Yeah, I can see it.
That was Galata, Madison Square Garden. You may see Rock a little bit in the background. And there's me, for whatever reason, I just jumped in the ring and just covered, Bowe was down, you know, with the low blows, and just covered him out of just protection. And, you know, as you said, we all look the same. So I'm glad none of you commented that I look much different. So thank you. But, and I'll never forget, we're, you know, hovering over, and it just got smaller and smaller as the feet kept coming to us, because that was early on. And it was so, and I'll never forget the New York Post the next day, the entire headline, "Blame Rock Newman," if you recall, Rock.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, but there's so many experiences, but this is truly the most important to me is, you know, as we look back 30 years, Rock, you and Bowe created a family, you know, around you with all of us. And in turn, we all were fortunate and blessed to have a family. And to this day, some of the closest people in my entire life are on this phone call to this day.
Yeah.
And that means so much to me, the fact that everything you set out to do and accomplish, and what Bowe did in the ring over all those obstacles, is just unbelievable. And the fact that 30 years later, we're, you know, able to be on the call. But Rock, I really want to thank you, Bowe, particularly, and everyone else, and Dee Dee right behind Rock, because if you let him on his own, who knows? So thank you for that. But you really did create a family around you. And, you know, that to me is the most special thing about this, you know what? So I just want to let you know that, you know, you all mean very much to me. Some of you I speak to so regularly, and those that I don't even speak to that regularly, it's still in my heart. And that's what matters most.
Jeff Rowe, thank you, man. And look, you brought up something about, you know, sort of it was really vicious in New York after that event where, you know, I was getting blamed for a lot of stuff that I didn't deserve, you know.
Correct.
And I want to say this, that in years past, that would have destroyed me. That kind of press and that kind of mischaracterization would have destroyed me. But I'm going to tell you something. I had been going on a very regular basis and hearing Reverend Wilson's message at Union Temple Baptist Church, where he talked about, you know, the God within. And to a large extent, whatever else training I got, education I got, experience I got, it wouldn't have prepared me for those times. But I had a particular armor on at that time, and this is largely due to Reverend Wilson's teachings. I had an armor on that time. It was like, y'all can write whatever you want to write. You don't even know me. You don't know me. I mean, what you that's a whole nother universe. And it, you know, Jay-Z said it later on, you know, I got however many problems, but you know, what y'all are saying ain't one. It's just rolling off the shoulder, you know. So I just want to make that acknowledgement. Look, we gotta keep moving. So Kemet, man, I found Kemet. Oh my God, I found Kemet. And oftentimes people used to say, well, what's the name of the young lady that works for you? I said, are you crazy? First of all, nobody works for me. They work for themselves. They work with me. We work together. So I never got into that kind of a trip. And I used to say, are you talking about Kemet? And they was like, yeah. I was like, well, Kemet is my boss. Kemet tells me who I need to talk to, when I need to talk to them, where I need to be, when I need to get there. And I say, okay. And Kemet was just so utterly responsible and reliable, and such a, you know, just such a dedicated person, man. So Kemet, we love you and thank you right at this moment here, man. And you,
and a sweet personality.
And I always talk about Kemet. I always talk about Kemet as having like one of the most pleasant temperaments. And, you know, Lou Duva said one time, he said, you know, Rock Newman is so intense that he makes coffee nervous. And Kemet had some kind of incredible ability to take off my edge where I could be a little more thoughtful and reasonable. She just played a big part, and we love you, girl.
Thank you. It's so good to see everybody. I love it. I miss you guys.
I'm surprised you didn't have Kemet patch everyone together.
I know.
Let me patch you in.
I know.
Right. So my what I would like to say first is the night of the fight. Oh my goodness, it was just so much excitement, so much thrill, admiration for Bowe, the accomplishment, and just the joy. I remember us jumping up and down, it was just so delightful. And those words, and the news. That was just everything. And then the journey, just everything.
Okay, it looked like you went out, Kemet.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. You're back. You're back.
Okay. I was saying the journey, just everything.
Yeah.
Work hard, play hard. Oh, I went out. Did I go out again?
We hear you.
Okay. And mentioning, the people we lost, that was sad, but also fond memories of all those people that you mentioned. And then the other thing, I don't know if you guys remember, but I always got a kick out of both. Tell me if you remember this, that it was so many Pisces around the Leo Bowe.
That's right.
So and one thing with Kemet, there were people literally from around the globe, especially Alexis, Mr. Honda from Japan, who was trying to hire Kemet. And I mean, one of these people that was so utterly impressed with Kemet was the guy from not San Diego, not San Jose, but he was from the West Coast, and he always called and wanted tickets. So we got him good tickets. And so this one night he said, well, I'll come and I'll get the tickets and I'll fly back home. And I was like, there's a plane leaving that late from Las Vegas? He was like, yeah, very humble, a very humble guy. He said, I'm a farmer in remember he said, I'm a farmer in some part of California. So we kind of drilled down a little bit. And this guy had like 15,000 acres and was doing all this, whatever it was he was doing. And yeah, he came in and got the tickets and flew back home that night about 2 a.m. on his own plane. So he was somebody that just thought Kemet walked on water, man. So Kareem Muhammad. That's the unmute. Unmute, Kareem. Make sure you unmute your phone, Kareem.
How's that?
Got it.
Brother Muhammad, what's up?
Kareem, you gotta unmute yourself.
You went back on mute.
Unmute, Kareem. Unmute your phone.
How's that?
Kareem?
It just muted again.
You don't double click.
There you go. Just keep it right there.
Okay, guys. So when Rock called me, it automatically registered that this is something big. Rock calls me when it's something big. So, it was a Kareem. I'm thinking about having this call about the 30th anniversary. And anyway, I'm glad he did it. But my memory, which is so many, just thinking about all the road work, all the traveling, all the places we went to camp, the time that that we went to camp and the length of time that we stayed, just to hear Michael Buffer say, and the new heavyweight champion of the world, that is something that will live with me forever. Not to mention all the wonderful people that contributed and that I've met through the process. That's really about it for me. I mean, I got a bunch of stories, but you know,
I know some of them you can't tell.
Yeah.
I remember we were staying at the I remember we were staying at the Pine, and Rock and Jeff Freed cheated me and Bernie in a basketball game.
Death Row. Death Row, that's slander. That's slander and defamation.
Yeah, well, Kareem, allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly cheated. By the way, now 30 years later or 28 years later, I see your point of view.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Also, Rock and Riddick, I just want to thank you for all the contributions that you just gave to so many people, but mainly to my life. It wasn't just the heavyweight championship, but it was a brothership and a love that you guys gave to everybody that I always remember that.
All right, man.
And
so
that
was Kareem.
One more thing, Rock. One more thing, Rock.
Oh, go ahead.
One more thing, Rock. And the journey prepared me for, you know, what came into my life later, to be the person who I am. So thank you guys.
So that was Kareem, and Bernie has said something. Maybe he'll have something else to say, but I do want to share a story. Some of you may know, you may not know, but we go to see the Pope, and the Pope does the homily in the Catholic Church. They do a homily. Pope does the homily in 13 languages. So everybody is all impressed, man, about the Pope being able to speak 13 languages and doing. He did Swahili, he did French, he did Yoruba, he did what? German, French, everything, Spanish. So Bernie and Kareem's analysis of the Pope was to say, you know, if the Pope wasn't the Pope, he'd be a serious international player. As they're sitting there in their high price, that was their analysis. Kevin Smith, my brother, the quiet but lethal one. What up, Kev?
How you doing, brother? Hello to everybody.
Hi.
Well, for me, my memory, I'm gonna end it by saying the new and what that meant to me. But the journey in terms of getting with you, as you know, we have a history with Michael Spanks.
Sure.
And when you called me at the time to come and work with Bowe and everything, getting to meet Bowe, and my job was Slim, and Michael Spanks was wherever he was, I was, and wherever he slept, I slept. But when I came into the camp with you guys and meeting Bernie and Brother Kareem, very professional brothers, young brothers, very serious. I admired them. I still love them to this day because they were very professional and they really took care of Bowe and took care of your interests. And that always made me proud. But the journey of being a part of this of the camp was, I was most of the time with you. So I got a chance to study you more than what I did with the Spanks camp, watching you put this thing together from zero, and the negotiation that you had with the people from Feli, the Feli sporting people, the Italians. And that's what you were talking about, going to see the Pope at the time. And Kelly was present, and you know, it was a great meeting. And I remember the presentation was so strong and so deep that you made. I was saying to myself, I said, man, I said, if they can give Rock everything he's asking for, because Kelly was like, oh, don't blow the deal. Don't give too much now. You know, Kelly's so professional. I love me some Kelly. Kelly, I still love you, yeah. She is so professional and so methodical, right? But anyway, I said, if they get Rock everything he's asking for this deal for both, I said, I'm getting out the martial arts bit. I'm going straight into sport boxing. Because I learned from that was that if you got a good product that is sellable, somebody will buy it. And Bowe was sellable. Even though other folks didn't understand it at the time, you understood it. And you said, Bowe, there's nothing on the plate. If you trust me, there'll be something on the plate. And you made something like that happen. You brought him from zero to the man that he is as a world champion. And we all share in that. So for me, it was a learning experience how to run a good organization, close up, watching how you wield and you deal, and then having a good woman at your side. See, so that's what made me blessed to have a good martial arts program here in this city and still in New Orleans and here in South Carolina. But I got a good woman at my side too. And I remember the impact that it made on me watching Dee Dee hold you in her arms. But you know what? It wasn't just in the dressing room. Even when we got to the hotel room, you broke down again, brother. You started crying again. There she was right there, you know, and then meeting Rev. Oh, Pastor Willie, you know, I got you in my book, brother. I hope you got the book that I sent to you. I acknowledge him in my book, but the thing is, Pastor was so deep in his version of teaching Christianity from an Afrocentric position. I didn't know him at the time the way I know him today. I'm saying, wow, this brother's so conscious. Let me talk to him, lay some of the teaching, the messenger on him. Now, I didn't even know he was close to the minister, right? I just found that out like some time later, but he was so humble and he accepted the things I was saying. He was reinforcing what I was saying. And then later on, I said, well, this brother, all the while he could have told me. I didn't know. I'm wasting my time. He already know the minister, right? But he was so humble and let me talk like that. And, you know, again, all the guys in the camp, Bernie, Mr. B, and his wife, may God, rest in great power, very conscious sister and whatnot. These are the people that I was so blessed to have known and got to know and kept me going today. And which I'm doing my thing in my own way. I'm in a smaller arena, looking to get into a larger arena for the things I want to do that's in my book and in the film that we're trying to put together on this martial arts film called Sensei. So when the fighter said, and the new, before that happened, there was talks about, Bowe's training so hard for the fight. And Bowe said, yeah, they're saying that he might be on steroids. He might be on this, might be on that. Bowe said, I don't care what he on. He said, I'm going to be all on his ass come tomorrow night. And that really, I knew he was ready. He was ready.
I'm listening, absolutely.
Yes, sir. And Mackie did a great job. Mackie did a great job preparing him. And Mackie, hats off to you. I ain't saw you in a long time, brother, but hello to you too. And,
New Orleans peeps.
Yes, sir. So I, for me, it was an honor, and it's always been an impression that stayed on me. And Rock, you are my guy, brother. Whether you know it or not, I'm not too visible. People don't pay attention to me. That's okay. But the bottom line is, brother, you made a big difference in my life and the children that I represent. I sponsored some kids from New Orleans to come to Bowe's fight. We did an essay in all the schools, and the kid that won it brought his mom out, and you provided the tickets and everything, that we needed and whatnot. So, these are the things that always stick in my mind. And I'm just so glad to see that you're still doing what you're doing, meaning that you still have the spirit of righteousness. Mike Wallace asked me in an interview that he was doing with you and Bowe. He said, Kevin, what do you think what makes Rock so different from other promoters and managers? I said, because he's dealing from a righteous perspective. Most are not being truly righteous and fair. He's fair, and I said, and that's what makes him different. And he used a little of my line. He said, Mike Wallace stole my line.
All right. We got to go back at him. Kev, man, thank you so much. Bo Diddley, man. Look, we saved the best for last. So I really, man, appreciate you hanging in there, Bo Diddley. But I would be absolutely remiss if Dee Dee thought she gonna get away without.
No.
People don't know Dee Dee is shy. But
okay,
come on here, girl.
No. I have two favorite moments, and that's when Bowe won the title and the picture of him kissing Rock on the top of his head. That's my all
all-time favorite memory because they both accomplished what they set out to do. And that was everything to me. And it was the sweetest thing. And the other thing that I have to say, we were blessed to be able to go to Somalia and facilitate donating some food and medical supplies. And everybody talks about how ferocious and how much courage and everything that Bowe had to accomplish what he did. But my other favorite memory of Bowe is this picture in Somalia where he's holding this baby, and you can see how vulnerable he is. And that just makes for a great human being. So thank you, Bowe, for everything.
Thank you, David. I've always.
Thanks, Didi. So you see me holding this thing here. So we got two New Orleans brothers on the phone, Mackie and Kevin Smith. And Don Hubbard, in all of our excitement on November the 13th, Don Hubbard had the presence of mind to go and snip off in the Mirage ring this here, which, you know, it holds it goes between the ropes. Don went and got this and he said, man, this is a forever memory. And so Lord knows I am eternally grateful for Don Hubbard. And if you can see a little bit where my, little office is here, this is the first thing on the wall as it goes down. And so that's because we had made the deal. We had made the deal with Steve Wynn.
I'll fix it.
All right, I won't tell you enough. We made a deal with Steve Wynn, and so we were at the Mirage, and Hubbard got that. Didi, you was going to show something else?
Oh yeah, and this, is it too much glare?
You can see it.
Oh yeah.
Bowe kissing him. Where, I see Rock, but I don't. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. So I and plus I need to double back because I remember one of the fights early on. Bernie and Bowe had become just inseparable. I mean, they was boys, man. And one of the fights, they decided, I don't know whose idea it was, whether it was Bernie's idea or Bowe's idea, but they wanted to get gold hearts in their hair. So they had both fought a fight where he had a gold heart, and his boy Bernie had that same gold part. So I mean, man, talking about oh Lord, so many things they did, trips to all kinds of stuff. But Beaver, was there something else you wanted to throw in along the way?
I mean, I have a lot of memories, a host of memories. I mean, coming into this thing, I was definitely the youngest doing it, and you all pretty much, embraced me, helped raise me. I was 17 when we started.
Yeah.
From knocking on doors, finding opponents the night before the fight, to I don't even know if y'all know the Gonzalez fight. Me and Kareem and Bowe slept in the same bed because Bowe was kind of nervous about the fight. So we all slept in Bowe's bed with him.
Hey, Bernie, let me stop you for a second, because Bernie just kind of, went past something. So we had a fight, and the fight was in Atlantic City, I think. Was in
New York.
Was in New York.
Yeah.
And a couple opponents dropped out, and now we were one day before the fight, and we didn't have anybody, and we had promoted it, and it was at the one at Gleason's, right?
Yeah.
The one at Gleason's, and we had promoted it. Bowe was going to be in Brooklyn, in his hometown, and he had worked really, really hard. If people don't know, Bowe fought 3 times in June of 1989, and 3 times in September of 1999. Bowe fought 13 times from March the 6th to December the 13th, 9 months, Bowe fought 13 times for those idiots who say that he didn't want to work hard, who didn't understand what he really, the intestinal fortitude that he had, the patience, the drive, and all of that. He fought 13 times in nine months. So the one we're talking about, the fourth opponent fell out. It's like, oh my God, we got to try to find another opponent. Man, Bernie and Kareem started to canvas out. We heard this one fighter who already had his proper medical records with the commission, had just gotten out of jail, but we didn't know where he lived. Bernie and Kareem fanned out and went into the streets and found this man. He just got out of jail. I think we ended up paying him like, you know, he at the time, hell, it was like a 4-round fight, at a 6-round at the most. You know, maybe we might have paid him $800, but I think we ended up paying him $2,000. But they found him about 3 o'clock in the morning, the day of the fight. And so that's the kind of team and that's the kind of zeal that everybody had that was trying to support, bro. Failure was not an option. And I'm telling you, man, the fact that they went out and did that, those are the kinds of things that help make champions. So I'm sorry, baby, I cut you off.
Wait, can I say one thing about prison? Wait, sorry, I have to say one thing. So there was one fight with Leon Taylor. I think it was the first Holyfield fight, and Leon Taylor was the sparring partner. And we were all hanging around. He said, come on, I'm going to teach you jailhouse spades. It's so two people can play. You don't need 4. And I said, really? Well, where'd you learn that? And he's like, oh, I just got out of prison.
That's right.
I did 15 years. I'm like, oh, dear me. What am I doing?
Yeah. So, I cut you off, B.
So even to the point of you leaving us in Vegas in training camp, told us you'd be right back.
Oh Lord, oh Lord.
When the money was getting low, Rock left me, Bowe, and Kareem in training camp with no money at all for weeks.
No.
Yes. So we went down in the lobby. We were staying at the Paradise. We went down in the lobby, and every morning we would grab all of the cereal for the free cereal and middle and take it back upstairs and put it in our refrigerator to eat through the day.
People don't know times was hard. My Lord. I mean, see, that's where Jeff, and then Jeff came in. I always describe, we were out there doing things. We were out there making rain, man, making fights, making things happen. And Lord knows, I used to refer, to Jeff and still refer that, Jeff was the anchor. Jeff was like back at the office saying, okay, we got to do this and this bill is due. And oh my God, I can't tell you how much I remember. Thank God I had a bank. I had a bank account at one of the banks in Maryland, in DC, and one in New York, because I'd write a check. I'd write a Maryland check to the New York bank. But man, so Jeff helped actually orchestrate and put together, an investment group. And, we negotiated and said, hey, I don't want to have to be a part of paying, and Bowe doesn't want to have to be a part of paying. And so they were like, okay, if they just knew that really Bowe wasn't going to be able to win the title in the time frame. Oh, but he won the title in the time frame. And one of the guys, Jeff, what was the name from the doctor from Malibu or somewhere?
Oh,
Terry.
yeah.
Terry.
Yeah, Terry. 4-letter last name escapes me, but Terry Cole. Terry Cole.
Terry, he came and begged, can I just please stay in? Can I please stay in? And where we stayed at the Pines early on, pretty wealthy family there, we told them what was happening. And they were like, no, we've seen a whole lot of fighters. We've seen a whole lot of fighters come and go. We ain't putting that money up. They were blowing up Bernie's phone, Kareem's phone, blowing up my phone. Hey, can we still invest?
Yeah.
Like, it's too late now. It's too late now.
Rock, I remember chasing all those people. That was,
yeah, man.
To invest in a boxer.
Yeah. Hey, so let me quickly say, hey, Pat or Monty, either one of y'all got anything else?
We were in Syracuse one night. Well, not one night, in training camp. Kareem, remember this. Bowe, you should remember this too. We wake up one morning, go to knock on Bowe's door. he was gone. He escaped camp, came back home. See, I think this was the first Holyfield fight.
The third Holyfield fight. Third Holyfield fight.
Yeah, yeah. He had left camp, so we had to go find him.
You had to go find a fighter. Your own
fighter.
Know how
that? Yeah. And then he would put the wall up on us. So then he would get mad at us and we called the wall. He would close his room off from ours, and he would put the wall up on us.
Yes,
well, you know why Bowe took off from camp? You know the real story? Rock, we never told you this. But I show up in camp at the Syracuse Hotel, and we're training at the Syracuse Crunch. And we went in the Carrier Dome, and I'm running around. I said, this is a miserable place. The whole place is miserable.
Oh, it's your fault.
Yeah. And I started telling, and Bernie and Kareem, I think, saw this, but I kept telling Bowe, you didn't know this. I said, Bowe, this is awful. We don't stand a chance. We got to get out of here. I hate this place. Before you know it, Bowe says, Mackie, I hate this place. I said, yeah, well, we got to get out of here. The next morning I wake up and I go to wake up Bowe to go run, and he's gone with his nephew back to DC.
That's right.
And I'm thinking, oh, damn, Rock better not know that I made him get the hell out of here. And then when you ended up going to the Desert Inn, I thought that was paradise.
Yeah, I know that's right. I know that's right.
I made Bowe get out of there.
Man.
So the championship fight, I mean, I know Bowe had trained hard. You know, you work hard to put the deal together. But when I seen Bowe's skin glow, if you look at that fight, his skin was literally glowing. I knew he would be fine. The conditions he got in, the meal plan he was on, the vitamins he was taking, the stuff that Eddie and Thel did. I mean, it couldn't go. Camp could not have gone any better.
Hey, Bo Diddley, man, look, you know.
What is here, Maggie? Come on, Riddick. Come on, Riddick. You can do it. You can be the
You know, some people claim that you've always been kind of pretty, but I'm telling you, what Bernie is talking about right now, when you were on Arsenio Hall's show, my God, you were glowing, man. You in that blue suit, Lord have mercy, you were absolutely.
You know what you call that, Rock? You know what you call that?
Glowing. What do you call it? What do you call it? What do you call it?
Big pimping.
Big pimping. Oh, okay. Hey, Bo, man. So, okay. I haven't missed anybody, right? No, I haven't missed anybody.
Thel is on also.
Oh, Thel. Where's Thel?
Gabby.
Yes, I'm here listening, man.
Oh my God, Thel. Okay, man. I missed you. I can't see there, but Lord knows, Thel, please give us your thoughts about the fight and about the journey. And I know I've already said it before, but how dedicated you were in helping Bowe get prepared for Gonzalez down in Miami in that stifling heat. I mean, New Orleans for Gonzalez, and what you taught him and how you taught him to beat Gonzalez's ass after Gonzalez, and let's call it real. Gonzalez had said he was going to be abusive to Judy, that he was going to kill Eddie Futch, who at this time I think was in his 80s. He talked all that shit. And Thel, brother, your preparation, I watched you prepare Bowe, and then I watched Bowe execute what you had given him. We got to New Jersey. The only time Eddie was involved in that training camp. So look, it doesn't hurt to keep it real here. Eddie actually didn't want that fight.
Right.
Why not? He thought that fight put you in danger that he didn't want. So Eddie didn't come to camp for that fight. Eddie stayed in Las Vegas. When we got there, let me finish. When we got there and Thel had worked with you, Eddie seemed to put some finishing touches Remember, we went to the gym privately. We wasn't letting anybody in the gym. We didn't want them to see what Thel had done to help prepare you, and then what Eddie was doing to put the icing on the cake. And I knew one thing was psychologically. I loved you, man, and I paid a lot of attention to the way you were thinking and what motivated you. And I think by your own admission, to a certain extent, you know, you kind of weren't as motivated before. But once I saw Gonzalez behaving the way he did, and so you get the eye of the tiger, I just knew we were going to be, I kept saying that, we're going to be okay. And brother, that fight right there, I remember Johnny Cochran sat next to me at ringside. And of course, Johnny, you know, lawyer, debonair, articulate, and all of that. But I can't count the many times that Johnny Cochran said, hit that motherfucker again, Bowe. Hit him again. hit him again. And Lord, it was like you heard Johnny because you went on that ass. So Thel, it's your turn, Thel. Please give us a little reflection.
Yeah, that was a unique experience. It was great for me. The timing was unique. We had a lot of pressure on us. Gonzalez had beat Riddick in the Olympics. He'd also beat Lennox Lewis. I was having calls from Panos and the people from England. They wanted me to go to England and to work with Lennox. They'd offered me a lot of money, much more than I was getting here. And I told my wife, I said, there's no way I could do this. I said, Riddick is something special to me. I just cannot do it. I say, I'm going to stay with Riddick. I said, I know him. The people were good to me. The whole camp, I mean, Rock, all the people treated me very nice. I kept my mouth shut. I didn't say a lot of the things. Matter of fact, you guys didn't know a lot of the things that I was thinking. But I looked at Riddick Bowe, and this kid, on all the things that people were saying about Riddick, one thing about him, this guy, for some reason, he always respected me. And same with Rock. With that kind of support and backing, and the other kids that was working with him, I said, we can do this. And it was a real tough situation because we couldn't lose. And I wasn't looking at any way to lose. I said, Riddick Bowe, give me the kind of attention that I want. I said, we can get this done. One thing I recognized about Gonzalez, you know, he was a good fighter. He was big. He was good. He was smart. But he could not get away from a jab. Mm-hmm. And Riddick had not been used to jab the way he should have. And as a result of that, a lot of the people that had been watching him, the different opponents that we were going to fight, Gonzalez camp, they didn't know how to prepare for Riddick Bowe's jab. And at that particular time, I said, if they give me the right to do this the way that I wanted to do it, and the things that we need to do to get this done, I was not worried about Gonzalez. I had no possible thought that Gonzalez was going to beat Riddick Bowe. And when we got to New Orleans, and the team got behind me, and I got Bowe's attention, you know, some of the things we had to do to get that. But once we got Bowe's attention, I knew what the result was going to be. That was probably one of the greatest camps for me. And the thing that impressed me more is how the whole team got behind me and supported me. It was probably one of my greatest victories. And I've been with a lot of guys, a lot of fighters.
Love that, Phil.
But this was probably the best camp that we had ever had. Especially, we came together at the right time. And as a result of that, I'm impressed and I respect everybody from that camp. And that's all I have to say.
I'm with you, Chappie.
Man, well, you're a man a few words still, but boy, I know one thing. I will certainly never forget. I never forget your work there, and I just seeing the work and seeing the teaching, but seeing the student absorb the work, seeing Bowe absorb the work, yes. It was really something that was spectacular. And, I said to somebody on Facebook, I made a prediction a while ago. This was 5 or 6 years ago. I made a prediction and I said, we can all make a mistake, but I'm an expert. And they were like, well, what makes you an expert? I was like, do you know how many years that I spent with Quinzel McCall and Wesley Mouzon and then moved up? I got a college degree in boxing there and then got a PhD with Eddie Futch and Thel Torrance. And then with the addition of Mackie, man, it was just something real special. So you know what? Let's us all give an applause. We wouldn't even be here. We all think we good folks and all that. But you know what? We wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for somebody named Big Daddy Bowe and the new.
Big like a truck, but smooth like a caddy. That's what they call me, Big Daddy.
All right now.
Yeah.
So Bowe,
I don't know how you did it.
You take your time, man, and give us some thoughts, Bo Diddley, of the journey, the night, whatever you want to contribute, man.
Well, I think first of all, I would like to say that I'm glad I had Kareem and Bernie with me because they kept me motivated. It was always talking to me, telling me different things, and I appreciate you guys, man. I guess without you guys, it would have been much harder. And then I had the best trainers in the world. You can't ask for no more. And then I had the best manager. I think I had the best team in boxing. Without you guys, it wouldn't have been possible. So thank you all so much.
Outstanding.
Hey, Bowe. Bowe?
Yeah.
So I'm holding something. I don't know if you can see it, but this is something I wrote about 20 minutes ago. How do I do that? Can you see it?
Yeah.
It says, it says best team. And what you just said, man, to hear that come from you is heartwarming and it's special, man, because I think the thing that I was probably most proud of is that it didn't matter if it was Lex, Cora, or Swanee, Kemet, everybody else that was involved, Bernie and Kareem, Bernard, Edward, you used to call him Mr. E.D., Shirley, Wilbert. Man, my feeling was, and I've been an observer of boxing for a long time, in terms of a team that cared about the athlete, Jeffro, I think that Mackie, this team, I thought was a team that cared more and was more devoted than any other boxing team that I've seen. And to hear you say that 30 years later, Bo Diddley, man, brother, that warms my heart.
I gotta tell you one more thing, Ron. There were a lot of times during the fight with Holyfield, I came back and said, come on, Riddick, you could do it, you could beat the real deal. And even though I was tired, but I could hear him say this, I beat the mess out of Holyfield. I got a lot of energy, so thank you so much, Mackie.
I got to tell you, Rock, yeah. I've been part of professional sports for 43 years. I all over. I was stretching the starting pitcher in the World Series. I've been with guys like won titles at Hopkins and everyone I've been with every sport, but nothing can take the place of a family. And you have to understand, I was the little guy coming in. You know, I started with Michael, and Hubbard brought me in, and you know, I was part of that family, but I had to come in and inside a camp and improve my stripes. And I will tell you that as an only child and someone who had to overcome a highly decorated father in combat, company commander, fought the Japanese and the Germans, and who killed a lot of people, and trying to live up to what he did, the embracing that I got from your camp, especially an African-American group that would take me in and make me part of the team. I remember when we were fighting Kotzer, and we were and there was an apartheid issue. And you had a shirt with that, and everyone in the camp was given one. And you said, Mac, you don't have to wear that. I said, give me that damn shirt, Rob. I'm on this team. And that, you have no idea what that meant to me, to make me a better person. Ooh. To know what it is to be behind the 8 ball and told you'll never succeed. What this camp and everyone sitting there did for me was to make me a better man, a better husband, a better father, and a better person. That it doesn't make a difference the obstacles you face. It's not what happens to you in life, it's what you do about it. So for all of you there, I thank you, because you helped me to be able to move on to the next level, so that if I get to heaven, I can turn to my father and say, Daddy, did I do okay?
Oh my God, Mac, man, that's special. That's special. You got Judy over there crying. Yeah. and Dee Dee's trying to be cool because she's about to drop some tears also. So look, let's say this, because we got a couple of more minutes if we want. Is there anybody that said, oh man, I should have said that, I should have said that? You know, feel free to take a shot, because
I got a question.
Is Bowe finished?
Bo Diddley.
Yeah,
Bo Diddley.
I hear you.
Bo Diddley, you okay? Did you have something else to say, or how you rolling?
No, I guess really the only thing I want you guys to understand is that during the first fight with Evander Holyfield, I came back and say, come on, Sam, you can do it. You can be the real deal. When I didn't want to do it no more, because he said that, it gave me a lot of energy, and it just kept coming to my mind, and I wanted to fight.
Man, you showed a lot of heart. Look. Hey guys, so I hadn't talked to Bowe for a while, and I saw the Galata fight. You know, these are these are tough times. We talk about the Galata fight, but I watched that fight when I knew that Bowe wasn't necessarily at his best. I was so inspired by the Tiger, the champion, the heart that he had in that fighting ring. I called Bowe. I said, hey man, I know we haven't talked in a little bit, but I just wanted to tell you, you was a fighting ass. Because no matter that he might not have been at his best and he was getting hurt, he wasn't no way scared. He was throwing some haymakers, boy, trying to get his man. And so, that's something I respect. Swanee, did I see you put your hand up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, after that, I'll just say I learned the slogan, Brownsville. What is it, Riddick? Brownsville never ran, never will. What is it?
Never ran, will.
Yeah. So that explains Rock's comment there about you in the ring. But I remember asking Riddick one time, like, can you tell when the people in the crowd cheering for you, can you hear the fans going crazy? Because his fights always were really exciting fights, and the crowd loved it. And Riddick told me that sometimes he knows, he hears the people, like you can hear the cheer of the crowd, but you're not really sure if it's because of something you did or something the other guy did. You just know something good just happened. I thought that was very interesting. And then the only other thing I want to mention is like Riddick would say, Swanee, you know what you do if I hit you with a body shot? And I'm like, no, collapse. He goes, no, you shit yourself.
Okay.
Hey, Rock.
Hey, Cam.
Yeah, Rock. When you were talking about the Gonzalez guy, is that we talking about the one that used to be a small point at one time? Then you had to grab him in the ring. We talking about that?
No,
one, right?
that was Tillery. That was Elijah Tillery. Gonzalez was
Elijah Tillery. That's what he was. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, who can have a great manager in his camp who can get in the ring and because he only started kicking because he was scared. You know, Bowe was putting it on his butt, right? And you got in that ring. Now, who gonna have a manager like that? So Bowe has been blessed. We have been blessed to be around your spirit, you know, and that made a great impression. But I forgot his name. I thought it was Gonzalez.
Hey, Cora, are you still there? Cora?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hey, so you know, I think because we have a couple minutes, we got to end this at 8, and so we got 10 more minutes. But man, I swear, the fact that we had the fight at UDC, right? Yeah, UDC, and before the fight, we played a tribute to Marion Barry had gone to jail. And we played a tribute to Marion Barry, and the commissioner at the time, Jeffrey Gyllenhaal, I think he fined me $5,000 or five something. But the kind of experiences that we have had, where before the fight, before Bowe gets in the ring, we play an inspirational voice and message from Marion, who's in jail, and everybody said was the most politically dead politician in the country. And then he comes back and ascends to become the mayor of the nation's capital again. Riddick Bowe, Marion Barry is an example of achieving against all the odds. And Lord knows, Cora, everybody, I think, understands to a great degree of what your support did to help him do that. And when you look at Riddick in terms of in history and as an example, I will never, ever forget the headlines on the back of the New York Daily News sports page. It said, "Ridiculous Riddick." And it had Bowe standing out by these gates at 250, what was the avenue, Bowe? 250 lot, 250, what was the address?
250
lot. 250 lot avenue.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And so look, that was after Bowe coming back from the Olympics. And I just thought I had seen a spirit and a talent that would become the heavyweight champion of the world. So I went to see Bowe a few times. And the first time we went out to dinner with Bowe and Judy, you might start smiling because you probably remember this. Bowe, I don't know if you remember, but we went to Red Lobster and both of y'all ordered 2 entrees. I was like, oh, Lord. Oh, man. But yeah, I was determined, and I said, I gave a date. Once we got Eddie in place, and once I spent some time, with Bowe and tried to understand him and solve some buttons that, if you push those buttons, he'll be a super achiever. I said on December the 19th, 1988, that on September the 21st, and I use that number because it was a weekend, and that's 1992. that's when he's going to be the heavyweight champion, September the 21st. We didn't make it on the 21st, but it was November the 13th, and it was still less than 4 years where Jeff Rowe, we didn't have to pay all that money back to the investors. Had it been 4 years. So, man, Bo Diddley, look, you know, yes, somebody said, you know, whether good time, bad times, tough times, whatever it might have been. But it was critically important, man, that, you know, I wanted to make sure that you understood, no matter what has gone, water's gone under the bridge, whatever it is, that we had so much of admiration and appreciation for you. And I swear to God, I want to thank everybody for participating here tonight. It's been a wonderful love fest. And Big Daddy, you on that night, November the 3rd, Friday, November the 13th, 1992, as Pat, my nephew, said, and others have said, you became the new. And it's something you always cherish and love.
Riddick, Big Daddy Bowe. Yeah, like
right
that.
on. Okay, family. I'll say, okay, family. Rev, man, thank you so much for the journey, for the prayers. We love you all. I love everybody. Sexy Chocolate back there. Kareem.
Right.
Judy.
Daddy.
Love you guys.
Cookie Love. Commit.
Yes.
Commit. Still holding. Look, Commit still got that same smile. Lex, and Lord knows, Alexis did a job with international sales that I don't know if anyone else could have done. I mean, we truly broke the mold of how they did it. Well, they don't pay until way after the fight, and you know, we kind of upset that international cartel. And Alexis will verify this. What I used to tell him, if it ain't in the bank account, where Riddick Bowe will get the money, you ain't gonna get the Riddick Bowe fight. And so we broke the mold. So thanks everybody. I'm gonna say sign off, I think, and say good night.
Thank you to Judy.
Rock, thank you and Bo and the entire family. Thank you all. Truly.
Thank you. Good seeing everybody.
Thank you, Judy.
One love, everybody.
Being a woman you are.
Bye.
All right.
Bye, Judy.